All right, welcome to the Terry and Gary's Low Expectations podcast. I'm your host, Gary.
And I'm Terry.
I wasn't sure who he was, but I've heard a lot of people call him Rhino at Walmart's, so we'll call him Terry. And we have a special guest today with us for our first episode.
A very special guest.
Very
he is world-renowned.
Very pretty.
Professional wrestler. Yeah, he doesn't wake up that pretty. He has to work at it a little bit. His name
constantly
is
constant work in progress.
Right. It's the Bachelor, Benjamin Boone.
Good save.
Right. Thank you. He's a little cocky too, by the way.
I wrote it down. So,
Did you?
Well, well, listen, Terry, you threatened me by switching chairs. I felt very threatened.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm sitting right here, away from you.
Yeah.
He likes to be close to me. So
Right.
Well,
I'm torn. My love's torn. I've got a rose on one side, and I've got a manly man on the other side wearing a Spider-Man's hat.
Brought you coffee.
Yeah, and you brought me coffee. You were actually running late.
Yeah, I was. Sorry. It's my first time.
Right. We won't hold that against you. But actually, this is our first show, our first guest.
Yep.
And we're on Facebook Live right now. Benjamin Boone, the Bachelor. He's been wrestling for several years. He's been all over the world. He's been to China, wrestled in China too. He's wrestled just recently in California. And tell us a little bit about the whole rose and, how you look for, that special lady and all that stuff.
Well, Terry, it's a constant struggle to find the one to give my rose to. I could go to Monroe, Michigan, and look in the vast amount of women here, but sometimes they're just not worthy.
Oh.
I could go to my hometown of Toledo.
I did see a line outside. I don't know what
Did
that
you?
was for.
Yeah.
And you saw me fight through that.
I did.
You
see
saw
it.
me fight through it.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
People think that, the life of the Bachelor is, life of luxury and all that, but it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
basically you're saying not all women are worthy of a rose from yourself.
Exactly.
Wow.
Especially if I have only one.
Yeah.
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 So many options.
Well, they are 99 cents at the gas station, so I can.
Well, or you can buy them for a dozen. Actually, I was a mark one time, paid $60 for roses. It was on Valentine's Day. Yeah.
they jacked the price up on Valentine's Day.
Oh, I know that. And I'm like, yeah, is this girl really worth it? I was going to call her a chick.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, don't demean her like that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Come
right.
on.
And a teddy bear and a couple other things. Yeah. So.
So
But anyway, so when you find that special lady, do you always find that special lady at a wrestling show?
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes my opponent in the ring will take my rose and graciously take it. Sometimes they'll stomp it on
Jesus.
it, rip it up. That's what happened last week when I wrestled in Fort Wayne. My opponent took my rose and just tore it to pieces, all the petals off. I got mad, really mad.
I believe
that's
it.
his mad face.
I know.
No.
You should see his happy face.
Are they different?
I don't know. I've never seen the happy face.
I was at a 7. You don't
were
want
at
me
a
to
7.
go to a 10.
We don't want to see that.
man.
Actually, speaking of going to a 10 in wrestling, you'll be wrestling on February 20th at the FOP. Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
I don't know if he just passed me a flyer at the FOP in Monroe, Michigan. Seats are still available. Only general admission, $10 for adults, $5 for kids. And, it's definitely the first one sold out. We're looking for a sellout there. You can go online at, what is that again?
It's www.purplepass.com/MPWFOP2.
Or if you're in the Monroe area and you want to go to
Our House Games over on Monroe Street across from Michigan Bar.
they have tickets right there, so you can buy them. And then you will be wrestling Sweet Willie Watts.
No, there's where the rose goes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sweet Willie Watts, he sometimes plays hard to get, And I don't know,
How
but
can you resist that?
I know. I'm actually a little bit jealous if I don't get the rose. If he gives it to you, but yeah.
He knows he should.
But there's a ton of ladies in line out there, so I think you'll find one outside. So I'll fight
maybe
you
we'll
for it.
see.
Yeah, we'll see. He plays hard to get, I think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just can't give my rose out to everybody.
No.
That's not the kind of guy I am.
Really, that's not what I heard.
Oh, rude.
Right.
Music. We got music here.
Yeah, we do. Oh well, yeah. I just I didn't get that at first. I'm a little slow. That's why I need the coffee.
Thank goodness for that. So let's all right, Benjamin. We're gonna do some more Facebook Live here. We're gonna go back live on Facebook, and we're gonna do some Q&A if you wanna sit around and join us, participate.
Yeah, I'd love to have you.
Give me some cues, I'll give you A's.
There you go.
I have 0 cues. So.
There you go.
All right, you ready to go back live?
I guess we are. Look at Facebook, social media,
live.
podcasts.
Okay. The first question we have for the Terry and Gary Low Expectation podcast is for, well, I'm going to hold on mine because it'd just be overwhelming if we answer all my questions.
Exactly.
So we're going to use yours first. And
save the best for last.
First through 10th. And then,
right.
So, all right. Dan Brewer asked, Terry, any good road stories to share about your time teaming with Heath Slater?
Oh, yeah. One time he had to run into the convenience store, and I just dropped him off at the door, and I backed it in. We're in a minivan, so there's a lot of room, and I left it in gear. So right when he jumped in the car, I hit the gas, floored it, and I made sure there was no traffic coming, and I literally jumped into the road. We're like skipping. It was like out of a movie. And then I cut the wheel to hard left, and he's like up against the door. He's actually floated around the big seat, in the minivan, and he ended up pressed up against the door because I had to hit the brakes real hard for the stoplight. And he was like, "Oh my God!" He thought my foot got stuck in the pedal, so he freaked out. But yeah, Heath Slater, he was a heck of a guy to travel with. And one time there was another time, he had a couple beers after a show, and he was a little lit, and he was just talking a lot of trash, which was a lot. Well, I can't say it. I don't even know why I brought that up because I can't even repeat what he was saying.
Well, we only get one story, not two.
Right.
Okay. We're time.
I want to stretch this thing out. Don't we get paid by the minute? Or are we
don't get paid at all.
Oh, geez.
Unless somebody wants to sponsor us.
Right. There you go.
At the Terry and Gary's Low Expectation podcast, if you would like to sponsor, and we'll give you a shout out right here on air.
Exactly.
So basically, you were trying to take out your tag team partner.
Right.
Because you want all the fame and glory.
Exactly.
I got it. Hey, we got a question for me. It says, Gary, share some more info about the upcoming Comic-Cons and events so we can plug them on a podcast. Well, we got coming up here this month, we have a Monroe Sports Card and Collectibles charity show to benefit the Oaks of Righteousness Homeless Shelter. 40 tables of sports cards, memorabilia, and more, signers, raffles, 50-50 food, all the free admission, but donation accepted at the door. So come down to the Oaks of Righteousness over on 924 East 2nd Street, Oaks Village, Victory Village, Monroe, Michigan. Then we have another show here in March that we're doing. As the second annual show the first annual show. It's a toy and comic show, and also the proceeds go to the Oaks of Righteousness. You can check us out on Facebook for those events and more. And then, of course, we have the Pop Fest in September that we're hoping to get Terry to finally.
Yes.
For the first
time.
And
what date is that?
September 19th. I've been burning it into your head.
Right. As long as I'm not committed to Impact Wrestling, I will definitely
Who do I
there.
talk to make sure you are not committed to
You have to talk to my manager.
Who's that?
Me.
I thought that was your manager. All the questions I answered, I thought that was your manager.
I would actually love to, that was 5 years ago I was there? Yeah. And, just a great show altogether. And I'm looking forward. Obviously, I'm committed to Impact Wrestling, but if we don't have a date for that date, if we're not running a show on the same date, consider me there, and we'll know closer. So. Well,
the nice thing now is 300 back then when you came, and now it's over 3,000 a day. So.
I charge you? I didn't know.
No, you're free. For me.
Okay.
I said 300 attendees that year you came. We have 3,000 attendees now.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So yeah, you'll have a good time.
Right.
All right, let's see what else we got. That was from Pro Wrestling Edge, Dan Brewer. So thanks, Dan, for that question. Next one comes from Carl Grove. What are your thoughts on the product today? And Edge returning to the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna guess that's for you.
Well, the Bachelor, Benjamin Boone, can chime in too. I think. Well, let our guest go first.
Okay.
I assume by the product meaning the WWE products.
All of wrestling.
All of wrestling.
He didn't specify, but I'm sure it has to do with the wrestling.
Yeah, I think that today that there's a huge multitude of choices for fans to tune into, whether it's WWE, whether it's Impact, AEW, New Japan. I mean, so
never Revolution.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
In Monroe, Michigan.
February 20th.
Right.
That's right. So there's a lot of choices for fans today, and for the wrestlers too. The men and women. there's a lot of places for them to go and work as well. And then as far as Edge, now Terry here has more of a personal connection to
Does he
Edge.
always have to call me by my government name? Can't he call me Rhino?
It's kind of weird.
Is it? Yeah, okay. And plus, it is the Gary and Terry show.
Yeah.
Low expectations, remember?
Right.
Yeah.
right. We just say hello here and taper down. It's kind of like grab a hold and
We were
just
going to call
settle
it no
down.
expectations.
Right.
But it really didn't sound that good. So
Right.
we didn't want to give anybody any hope.
Right.
But as far as Edge, and I know that you'll chime in too on this, you having a personal connection with him, I think that's a huge get for WWE. I mean, listen to the reaction that he got when he returned.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of the loudest ovations in the past 20 years.
I know my wife was very excited.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She cried a little bit.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Well, I have to admit, I do admit
Do it.
publicly that Edge was the first person I spooned with.
And what greater first person could there
Right,
be? Yeah.
right. Well, this was way back when. Let me tell the full story. Now that I put that out there, we're in the back of a cube van, and I was riding in the middle up front, and I was sitting on the transmission gimmick there. There wasn't an actual seat.
Best place to
So
sit.
right. So, anyways, I jump in the back, and I'm like looking for a place to sit or lay down. Johnny Swinger was back there. We had Christian was back there, and they had little mats that they were laying on, like the crash pads for outside the ring. And then Edge's was a little bit bigger, and he wrestled as Sexton Hardcastle at the time.
Oh.
So he goes, here, we'll I'm 19 at the time. He goes, here, we'll just lay here. I'm like, there's not enough room. He goes, well, if I lay on my side, we'll spoon. And I'm like, well, what's that? Like, I was just this
Like
innocent,
he didn't know.
No, I was just an innocent, young man, just breaking in the business. And we were up in Winnipeg, and hot summer night. And we're just traveling to the show, and
The
next
mood
thing
is
you
set.
know-
The hot
yeah,
summer
it
night,
is.
sweat glistening.
Dusty, yeah. No
I'm
shirts.
tuned.
Yeah,
You got me.
He
hooked.
was wanting to give out a rose. if
Either
he
a lot
was
of people
there.
just tuned in, or a lot of people just tuned out.
Right. No, but actually, it was kind of funny. He's like, yeah, just we'll spoon. I'm like, what's that? He's like, well, I'll just lay on my side. You lay in front of me. And then I realized I was a little spoon, even though I was like 30 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, a big little spoon.
Right. But the state of wrestling is great. I think to answer the question, I think there's a lot of options for the wrestling fans. And the independent wrestling scene is on fire worldwide. And the great thing about the independent scene has the opportunity to put their stuff out on Facebook, on other forms of media, and it's pretty inexpensive. So the wrestling fans can tune in and watch it. So,
Very good answers, fellas.
yes.
Next question is from Mike Delaney. And here's imagine this. Here's a few for Terry. In his wrestling travels, has Terry ever had the chance to meet the original Sheik, Ed Farhat?
Oh, yes. One time, 1999, I dropped a wrestler off to meet up with Sabu, and Sabu had his caravan, and Sheik was in there, and I had my little Chihuahua, little dog. I walked in, and my wife at the time, actually, she was carrying the dog, and he goes, I want to introduce you to my uncle. Come on in. So we were kind of meeting up. I was dropping a wrestler off. I was going one way for a show, and he was going the other way. So I said, nice to meet you. He goes, who brought the rice? I'm like, what's he mean, who brought the rice? And you knew you were meeting someone, and he's just sitting there at like the table. He actually cut his finger, so he's putting a Band-Aid on. And he goes, who brought the rice? And I'm like, for what? He goes, to go with the Chihuahua. I'm like, honey, you can fight him. If he wants a dog, I'm just going to give up the dog. So.
And here's another question, Terry. For the 20th card that we have coming up here, has the card been finalized? And can you announce any more matches besides what we have?
We're still working on it, but
We have some on Facebook already on the Facebook page.
and then we're gonna release some more matches. It'll definitely be a very well structured card.
If you've seen the first one, you'll even be more amazed by the second one. I think.
Exactly. So,
And then
but yeah, there's a lot of matches that are just finalized. We need to finalize, and
Tickets are going fast too, because the first show, I mean,
it
fans were
sold out,
literally hanging from the rafters.
Exactly.
So it was wall to wall.
VIP sold out in 10 minutes after we put them online this time.
For this show, yeah.
For this show, it was crazy. All right, at your discretion, who is the most disliked personally or professionally wrestler you've ever worked with?
The Bachelor, Benjamin Boone.
How did I know you were going to say that? How did I know?
I could feel that one. You're not going to get that rose. So.
No, not anymore. I don't even think I was in the running for it. I really don't have anybody. I think he's going to hit me with the rose.
I think
Thank
so.
God.
Good thing we're live.
Right.
We're live, pal.
Impromptu match right here.
Call Feiger.
On Impact
Get the money
Studios.
out of him. There it is.
Those two questions were from Carl Grove and Mike Delaney. Next, we got David Mentier. What is the future of Insane Wrestling Revolution?
The future is The
Right.
Bachelor.
Oh, The Bachelor. Yeah.
Benjamin
Obviously.
Boone.
I thought
See, you recognize greatness.
He's just
I
trying to
did.
get that rose.
I appreciate it.
I'm just trying to,
Save
know.
face.
Right. I'm just trying to, get them for a cheaper
Yeah.
price. These wrestlers, they cost a lot of money.
From Scott Fayez. Well, we won't ask that. Would you ever open a store again? To me, yeah, I would love to open a store again. Back in the 90s, my wife and I, Dawn, had a store called Benchwarmer Sports. And, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I loved having the, interaction with the community, the kids buying baseball cards and football cards. And it was a good time. So eventually, hopefully one day, if Dawn doesn't leave me, I will open another store.
Well, if I bring Edge in for an Insane Wrestling Revolution,
I'll never see her
again. She's definitely going to leave you.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Or me.
Yeah, well,
She saw you last time and she's with me, so.
right. Well, the second time or
Well,
third
But
time
the
might
second
be
time,
the
second
charm.
time might be
As
the charm.
far as you know.
Oh, gee. But
I hope you're alive right now. I'm Dawn. All right, and I'd like to know some travel stories from Terry. We're gonna have a lot of those, I think. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We'll go back to that. Actually, a question from my beautiful wife, Dawn. Why are the men's hairs so wet when you enter the ring?
It's harder to grab onto if it's all greasy, oily, and conditioned and all that stuff.
Okay, so it's strategical. It's not.
Right.
It's not what you told me earlier. Then.
Right. I don't even know what I told you earlier. I just make it up as we go along.
I know. I get a different answer every time I ask this question.
Right. Plus, it looks better.
It looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's fun coming out clean.
Right.
Yeah.
And she also wants to know where the heck. This is for the Impact fans. Where the heck is Joey Ryan's sucker stored?
Oh, use your imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, she has.
Tucked, yeah.
She has. All right.
Tucked in there. Nice and tight.
Tucked in there nice and tight. Now you know. And last question's from Scott Beard, our guy at the FOP. Scott Beard.
Oh, yeah.
Police
Scott.
officer who's going to be retiring
guy.
pretty soon. So thank you, Scott, for your service.
Thank you, Scott.
Any chance of wrestling again with Heath Slater? I'm guessing he's asking you that because I've never wrestled with Heath Slater. And
We could set it up. Yeah.
Well, if I give Heath Slater a rose, you know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
He's got kids. I
He'd
think
help-
he'd
he
take a
does
rose.
have kids. I would
Yeah.
give a rose to all of his kids, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is a ton of them. Yeah, I would love to work with them, even if it's just one match, but I think the fans would like that too. 'Cause,
No, I think you guys were great together.
yeah, it's just a lot of charisma and just fun to be on the road with and fun to be in the ring with too.
And he said it seems like a great guy, and you two are awesome together. He's also rooting for him to get a push into WWE. So
Right. I think everybody is.
I think we
yeah.
all feel that way. All right, that was our question and answer with Terry and Gary and Benjamin Boone, Facebook Live. We're going to tune out, so make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast to get the rest of the podcast. That's going to be on iTunes here probably Monday or Tuesday, and we will also have it posted on YouTube, and we'll give you the link on the Facebook page, so follow that Facebook page. All right, signing out, Facebook Live. Thanks for tuning in. All right, and we're going to move on here. After that question and answer, that was some stellar stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Stellar stuff. Some great questions too.
Right.
Well, we got story time with Terry coming up. That's a we don't have the jingle yet. But it's going to go story time with Terry. Story time with Terry. Story
We
time
got
with
it.
Terry.
We got it right there.
But we're gonna have that here coming up pretty soon. But anything you'd like to add about what you got coming up?
Any shows?
Any
in the
shows you
area?
got? When people can see you besides the 20th?
Yep. Well, this coming weekend, I'll be at Rockstar Pro in Dayton, Ohio. This coming Saturday, live pro wrestling in Fremont, Ohio at the Strand, downtown Fremont. And then this coming Sunday, Powerbomb Wrestling in Toledo, Ohio. That's where you can catch me this weekend. My social media is at Benjamin Boone, Twitter, Instagram, ProWrestlingTees.com/Benjamin Boone. That's the t-shirt store. So, and Facebook, find me on there. And that's all I got to share.
Yeah, actually, he has really, really cool T-shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I don't think I seen him at the last show. I went over
did
there.
you have
Did you have it at the last show?
Yeah.
at the last
Okay,
show?
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't walk over there in time to
the
see
one
him.
with the cape.
Oh,
Yeah, I have that one. I
Yep.
literally bought it.
you wear
from
that to
him.
bed.
Oh, don't tell him.
He's right there.
Oh,
But, not
crap.
that we're telling you to leave. Stick
Right,
around.
right.
It's okay to dream of me, you know. It's okay.
Stick around, but we want to say that guests on the that appear on the Terry and Gary's Low Expectations podcast, we receive a new in the box Rhino blow up doll and leftover meatballs from Super Bowl Sunday. So
there it is.
So that's your gift for this week for coming in, and we appreciate you coming in and
Yes.
stick around, help us out here because we're gonna have some dead time. I imagine we're gonna start staring at each other's eyes and not know what to say here real soon.
Right.
Since our preparation is not is indicative to our low expectations.
Right. But before we go any further, can you explain the logo and the duct tape and all that?
Our guy Brad Schreiber,
Great guy.
we will have to have on.
Yes.
We'll have him interview as what's he do? Shaggy and Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
We'll have him. We'll interview him as that, or we'll interview him as Casey Kasem doing Shaggy.
That'd be awesome.
But
Zoinks.
But he's an amazing guy. He's part of Impact. He has a radio show. He does so much logos and graphic design work. Check him out. Brad Schreiber's by Design Graphics, Arts and Design. But I probably messed that up. But you get the picture. Brad Schreiber, he was awesome. He did our logo for this show, and he said he doesn't have a lot of expectations for Gary and Terry's Low Expectations podcast, so he put our logo on duct tape.
There it is. Yeah, when you told me that and then I seen it, I just popped. I'm like, that's great. At least we didn't get Scotch tape.
Yeah. That's coming.
Right.
He might redesign the logo after this first episode. We're going to get Scotch tape. Well, not even Scotch tape, the dollar store tape that just says clear tape.
Clear
tape.
Clear tape. Yeah, we're not good enough for Scotch tape
right,
yet.
Right.
Unless Scotch wants to sponsor us. And so reach out to us anytime you like Scotch.
For sure.
3M products.
Exactly.
But we have so we're gonna move on. We're gonna
for sure.
We're done talking about all the great stuff here.
And we do have some shirts for the podcast.
Yeah, well, they're online at TeePublic right now until we actually get. Yeah,
okay.
Until we actually get some.
Print it up and stuff
print
like that.
Print them up and take them around. But those should be coming too. So just make sure you guys get to the Facebook page and subscribe. So that's the most important things for us to keep going. I know you don't have a lot of expectations, but but we'd like to keep going for at least a couple more episodes.
Right. Who actually came up with the name? Was it you or your wife?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Okay. Yeah. Gary is actually a pretty funny guy, Ben.
Well, don't tell people because then they might expect something
right.
from me next week. And they're like, I don't think he was that funny.
Right.
Well, I'm still waiting for a laugh.
See, right? You and the 17 people watching our show right now.
Right. We got 17.
I don't know how
17.
How many do we have?
2.
9.
Oh.
That's right. Facebook, eat it. 9.
You
9 people watching live.
Eat your heart out.
Yeah. We are the Joe Rogan podcast. Eat your heart out. We had 9 Facebook live.
You want to hear something real funny? We're over in Pakistan, right? And this one American guy, I think it was from America, or he might have been from Canada or something. So the promoter's going around, Facebook Live, and he's like going up to us and like, hey, can you, say hi and all that stuff. And so the one dude goes, oh, hi to the 2 people that are watching. Like, it's the promoter. You don't do that, right?
Yeah, way to bury the product already.
Right. Or the lack of his interest in, his fans,
Right.
or his followers.
Well, how do you like the fans? How do you like interacting with the fans? I've always seen
it's
you.
Great.
I've seen you, and you just you amaze me with the way you are with the fans. And stuff,
it's great. And Benjamin Boone the Bachelor can testify to this.
Testify.
If you're a bad guy or a good guy, heel or babyface, whether they're booing you or whether they're cheering for you, the more into it they are, the more your adrenaline gets going, and it actually really, really helps out the match, so it's a high. It really is a high.
Do you find it easier or harder to be a heel or a baby face? I mean, is everybody different? Or
once you're starting out, I think it's more difficult to be a baby face, because they're really not going to cheer someone they don't know.
Is that something you have to earn, or is that just something
time and being good at what you do and trying to get into their emotions and stuff, and so, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Starting out, it's absolutely, I agree with you, harder to be, a baby face. It's like for that reason too, somebody they don't know, but it's hard to be accepted, in real life. You know what I mean? So it's much easier to be disliked than it is to be liked. I mean, you have to work that much harder.
I don't even try. People don't like me.
Or, just
Don't
everyone's
start
just
crying
that's
on
on
my
my
shoulder.
You know.
Gary, this is not the place.
Sorry, we'll have.
So that's why your shoulder's all wet.
Right. He was
Oh.
crying earlier. He was getting nervous on the show. He's like, they might expect something. No, they don't
a
expect
new segment we
anything.
have coming up is it's going to be Gary on the couch
Right.
talking to Terry so he can help him through his problems.
Right.
So emotional support.
It's
Exactly.
It's okay. Talk it out.
Talk it
Talk
out.
it
Right.
out.
Talk it
Exactly,
out. Talk
exactly.
it out.
Don't sing. You told me not to sing songs. We might.
Well,
have
no,
to pay
because the
royalties.
lyrics of that song
Oh,
is "Walk
okay.
It Out," and I changed
Oh,
them up.
there it is.
Talk it
Yeah,
out. So
yeah.
it's like no
Okay.
similarities
Right.
whatsoever. Not a one. Yeah, we cannot have songs on this podcast. So
Yes.
Not yet.
unless somebody wants to pay the royalties for us. So
There
back
you
to that
go.
whole sponsorship thing.
Right. Right.
Or bring me back and I might sing.
There you
Keyword might.
go. Might.
So does that help him or hurt him?
I don't
Have
know.
you heard his voice?
No.
No.
Do you sing in the shower,
Well, you can
or
sing-
do you sing to the women?
Oh,
Well, I mean, I sing whenever I come out to my beautiful
Of
theme
course.
music.
Right. Right. Can
And-
we announce what his theme music is?
I don't think we can announce "Kiss from a Rose." I don't think so.
Oh,
So,
okay.
no.
Yeah. So
No,
yeah,
no,
we
we
can't
can't.
announce
well.
Kiss from a Rose.
Well, you're just gonna have to
Right.
come out and see for yourself on February 20th. When I make my grand entrance,
yes.
you'll hear my beautiful voice, which has been described as the voice of a generation. I would not lie to you about that.
The
He
nice-
wouldn't.
What
He's a very
generation? Like
honest-
the 1910s? Or...
No.
All
he-
generations.
All generations.
All
Wow.
the generations.
Yeah,
Man, that's
wow.
high.
That is
That's
a
high
lot.
expectations. I don't know if that belongs on this show.
Previous,
It
current,
doesn't.
future. It transcends.
It does.
It
does.
transcends.
This
It
man
does,
is
it has to.
transcending.
Right. Right.
He's transcending me right into our next.
There it is.
But
our next
there it is.
segment.
Right.
Good
Right.
segue.
I've talked to Terry for a long time here, and I've noticed some pretty crazy and peculiar stories he has. And one day you might see him in a book.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So we're gonna call this segment "Story Time with Terry,"
Yes. Story.
and we're gonna go ahead and listen to Terry tell us one of his abduction stories,
Oh.
or some things you might not know if it's real
Right.
or if it's
right.
false, but it's all 100% Terry.
Yeah. Well, the stories are real. I was out in the deserts. I was heading to a show in Vegas. This was between the years of 2011, January of 2011, and right before I re-signed with WWE. And I had a little bit of car troubles, and so, anyways, it was like a reservation, and they were all helping me. And I met this older Native American, and we walked in the desert, and anyways, I thought it was tobacco we were smoking. It ended up being peyote. Next thing you know, I'm on the spaceship.
I didn't know peyote is even real.
Yeah, it is. But long story short,
No, make it long.
when people are abducted by aliens, and you get the probe and all that stuff, and I don't know why they do it. I didn't like it at first, and
The
so
first abduction and probing.
right. Well, you know the story, don't.
Sorry.
So anyways, next thing you know, I wake up naked in the desert, and there was no Native American chief to be found, and so I'm walking through the desert. I finally make it back to the reservation, and I get my car and I go on to the next show. What really troubled me is the next day I didn't hear from the aliens.
That's what troubled him.
That's what
They
troubled me.
ghosted you.
Right.
Oh,
You got ghosted
Yeah.
by
Rude.
aliens.
Maybe if I had a rose and I gave them a rose, or they gave me a rose, but I felt a little bit,
You were kind of pushed to the side.
I
mean,
was.
I mean, I'll just put it out there. If aliens abduct me, I will gladly give you a rose.
They're like-
Anytime.
Aliens,
Anytime.
Aliens
Right,
like, don't
right.
call me, Terry. We'll call you.
Right.
And they never did. Or,
No.
Or did they?
We did.
Don't they know who
No.
you are?
I know. That's what I was saying. And we didn't even share a cigarette after the probing.
Uh,
You're on TV.
Probably, yeah, probably couldn't,
that's not very courteous.
smoke. Right.
No, I mean,
Who do they think they are?
rude aliens.
I'm on TV. We don't share a cigarette. We didn't even cuddle. It's just like, so the next show or a couple shows on, I'll tell you about the second abduction. I was a little upset. I'm like, no probing for you guys.
Yes, folks, there are
No,
more
no.
abduction stories.
That's right. You got to stand your ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And stop calling them because they're not coming back.
I know. ET phone home, right?
They blocked your number.
Right. I was going to name my dog Elliot, all that stuff,
You didn't?
ET
Even-
No.
Do you have a dog?
No, I don't. I
No.
was going to get one named
You had to get one and name.
Yeah,
Oh,
right,
okay.
right.
Well, I can see that.
Every time I see ET, it's different for me now.
All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna give you guys a chance to go on Facebook and give us some ideas, because God knows we need them.
Right. I was going to say we should get some ideas.
We need some ideas. So
Right.
what do you want us to talk about? We'll do the same thing next week as far as ask you guys, hey, give us some questions. We'll have maybe another guest next week, maybe another guest in 2 weeks. But we do plan on having guests. And it's not always going to be wrestlers. We're going to have people from the comic industry, artists, comic book writers, maybe some sports celebrities, maybe some TV celebrities. But we will have a wide variety of guests. It's not always going to be wrestlers. So
We might even, we can't sing and dance.
Can't sing and dance, but maybe we'll just go Facebook Live later off the air and we'll sing
or
and
call
dance.
me and I'll sing. You
Yes,
know,
yes, but
for a price.
Exactly.
For-
Yeah, well, the price of admission at the February 20th show.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
$10.
Yeah.
$10
For
get
adults.
those tickets. For adults, $5. For children, $500. So
Right.
all right. So yeah, get those ideas in. Who you want to see? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to see Terry do? Maybe we'll have Terry gore somebody one day.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife said me. I said no.
No, we need you.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't want
God knows we need me.
Right.
You definitely need me. But okay, we're gonna wrap this show up here pretty soon. So
What's a good out? We never
don't know.
really
Well,
discussed that.
we got ads too. I mean, we got to talk about this. Terry and Gary's Low Expectation podcast is brought to you by Big Daddy's Boatyard.
Yes, and
And the Monroe Pop Fest.
bingo.
We got it in.
He's got water and places to put boats, so give him a call.
Exactly. Yes.
What's the number to call if they want to get a hold of you to put a boat in?
734. The business Big Daddy's Boatyard phone number is 734-772-5376.
Right. So that's who you call to get your boat in the water. You're going to have
Right.
seasonal storage and everything like
Yeah,
that.
if you have a boat on a trailer, we do. If you want to park it in the gated lot, there is a fee for the wintertime for $200, very cheap winter storage. And we don't have a hoist, but a lot of places will drop your boat in. And for the summer dockage all year, we have docks for $800 for 25-foot docks. We have it as low as $500, or I'm sorry, $600. We do give a
Price is rising.
right, like the water.
That's right.
We have plenty of water. The water depth is insanely high. So all of our docks last year were above water, which was great.
It looks great too. You guys,
Yeah.
you've done a really lot of work to it.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Places look
A
really
lot
nice.
of work. Yeah. So
And of course, the Monroe Pop Fest. So more information on that, go to www.monroepopfest.com. You can check us out on Facebook. We always announce new guests. We've got a bunch of guests already announced, new and returning. So any closing statements? The Bachelor Benjamin Boone?
Well, the pleasure is all yours
Of
for
course.
having me on.
As it should
So,
be.
and you know what? And just being generous for the first episode and having me on, let me try singing an outro for you guys.
can we do that?
Well, I guess as long as it's a new outro
Oh,
and not
Well, I mean, this
off
is
the top of
all
your
from my
head.
brain, you know.
Oh,
So
okay.
this could go either way. We'll see.
Terry and Gary, Terry and Gary,
I like it.
Terry and Gary, low expectations. What do you think?
A voice of an angel.
See, voice of a generation.
Fallen angel.
Oh,
That was ran over by a truck
Oh,
twice.
and abducted by an alien.
Abducted by an alien.
Probed twice.
Probed and released. Probe and release. Probe and release.
you know, you got him coffee, and you didn't give me my Evian water. You know,
Right,
like
right.
Well, he didn't
that's
tell me you
heat.
need anything.
That's heat.
Right.
I just found out you were coming.
Right. We don't communicate that well.
No. Terry?
I think on that note,
Rhino? Would you
yeah.
like to say anything on the way out there?
No, I think we had a good exit right there.
I think that was
Let's
pretty
not
good.
kill it.
So-
Let's not keep talking.
Oh, I'm going to kill it.
Okay,
Because
kill
that's,
it, baby.
that's how I roll.
Exactly.
It's
Kill the
killing
town,
time.
kid.
It's killing time. All right. Thanks for tuning in to the Terry and Gary's Low Expectation podcast. Be sure to like us on Facebook at Terry and Gary. Subscribe to us on iTunes. We should have a YouTube page coming up pretty soon. And then just follow along. But when you follow along with low expectations. Leave those expectations at the door because we don't want them.
Right.
So be kind. Don't use ignorance as an excuse. We'll talk to you later.